Ivory Coast announced on Tuesday that French troops will leave the country after a decades-long military presence. It is the latest African nation to downscale military ties with its former colonial power. Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara said the pullout would begin in January. France has had as many as 600 troops in Ivory Coast. We have decided on the concerted and organized withdrawal of French forces in Ivory Coast, he said, adding that the military infantry battalion of Port Bouet that is run by the French army will be handed over to Ivorian troops. Ouattara's announcement follows that of other leaders across West Africa, where France's military is being asked to leave. Analysts have described the moves as part of the wider structural transformation in the region's engagement with Paris. Several West African nations, including coup-hit Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, have recently asked the French to leave. Most recently, Senegal and Chad did the same. Chad is considered France's most stable and loyal partner in Africa. The downscaling of military ties comes as France has been making efforts to revive its waning political and military influence on the continent by devising a new military strategy that would sharply reduce its permanent troop presence in Africa. France has now been kicked out of more than 70% of African countries where it had a troop presence since ending its colonial rule. The French remain only in Djibouti, with 1,500 soldiers, and Gabon, with 350 troops. After expelling French troops, military leaders of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso have moved closer to Russia, which has mercenaries deployed across the Sahel who have been accused of abuses against civilians. The security situation has worsened in those countries, with increasing numbers of extremist attacks and civilian deaths from armed groups and government forces.